this is a crash course in project management organized by Ostrotech. I'll be taking you through this session. So when we look at the definition of a project, because if you want to have a crash course in project management, you want to start from the definition of projects. And I always like to tell people, your project management profession will be as successful as the definition you hold for one project and also the concept project management itself, the actual practice. You need to have the right definition for those two aspects, because then it will impact how you work in your work environment. So then, a project is a lot of you have said it, temporary organization. In other words, it is time-bound. It has a defined start, it has a defined finish. It doesn't run infinitely. It doesn't run endlessly. Defined start, defined finish, time-bound. Time is a definite constraint when it comes to project. And it will deliver one or more business products or services. These products or services can be tangible or intangible. For example, it could be the prototype of a car. You want to manufacture a set of a new car, but to sort of really start the manufacturing process, you first need to design a prototype that must be tested, try out, and then once it is signed off for production, you start to manufacture it as part of your operational and manufacturing process. It could be a new house. It could be an upgrade to an existing technology, or it could be a totally new introduction of a technology that never existed before. These days, we talk about robotics, AI, machine learning, etc., etc. Whatever you do with that product or service you're delivering, you would deliver it to a business case. Now, the business case in project terms, particularly for this side of the world, based on Prince 2, is the justification or rationale for that project. You may have heard me talk about Prince 2. We will address it as part of this session because it's a methodology that is quite prevalent in the UK and we work to it. And I want to promote it and champion it for something. If you're going to take a career serious in project management, it's something I want to recommend for you as a certification you should have. So let's sort of summarize. We are saying a project is a temporary organization. In other words, it's time-bound. It doesn't run infinitely. It will deliver one or more business products or services which can be tangible or intangible according to a business case, justification, or rationale. The next big thing we want to look at is why projects. Why do organizations embark on projects? Firstly, it could be anything around regulation or statutory demands. See, a lot of times, regulations can be imposed on organizations or statutes can be introduced that an organization needs to comply with within its own domain of operation, within the sector or industry it operates in. This is the challenge. A lot of times, when these regulations or statutes are introduced, organizations do not have the infrastructure, they do not have the processes established, they do not have the people skilled to support all these aspects. So because of that, they need to set up a project to sort of establish that regulatory or statutory requirement, failing which it's sanctions, it's reputational damage, etc., etc. So because of that, they set up a project to deliver infrastructure, processes, upskill their people to make sure they're in a good place to comply with that statute or regulatory requirement. It could also be to introduce a change, right? A change, it could be technology change. If you looked at the definition of projects, when we started, we talked about the introduction of a technology change or of an upgrade to an existing technology. So what we're basically saying is that projects can be established by organizations to introduce changes, to introduce a requirement, technology, process that they never had before. Now, before I go on, you may be overthinking this too much. Listen, we all embark on projects every time. You just didn't know. That's your travel you planned over 3 months. Was a project. You just didn't realize you were planned. It was a project for you. That kitchen refurbishment you had was a project. You just didn't realize. It was introducing change. It was addressing, for you as a family, a need. That's you as an individual. Think about it this way. That home renovation you had, the renovation to your house, or that housing project you had, it's also a project. You just didn't realize that was what you were doing. Now, the challenge is that because it is not done under a formal professional arrangement, a lot of us do not call it a project. But sometimes we even use the term project loosely. But you're right, it was actually a project you were running. That big event you planned over 4 months and then launched on a particular day, I just had the recent one, it's also a project. Okay, so for organizations then, which is the context we're looking at this from, organizations will consistently want to improve and they will introduce changes. They will address their business needs with systems, with processes, with technologies to sort of ensure they have competitive edge and advantages in the market. They want to attract new customers, etc., and ensure customer loyalty. Okay, so business expansion can be another reason for organization is mergers, is acquisitions, two organizations merging, a bigger organization acquiring a smaller one, things like that. So you will see all of this in the market across organizations from time to time. They are expanding their branch network. That is also a project. They will have project arrangements, temporary arrangements to sort of fulfill these purposes. And a lot of times it's competition and market demands driving the need for projects. In the mobile network industry, you see a healthy competition, for example, between Apple and Samsung. Apple introduces a new mobile device, Samsung responds. So competition can drive the need to introduce new projects. Okay, but the key thing I want to conclude with around this particular slide is to say organizations embark on projects to survive. They want to stay afloat. They want to stay in business. They want to ensure that business doesn't die. They want to ensure they generate revenue. They want to increase their profit margins. They want to ensure that they are attracting customers, they are retaining customers, improving the way they run, their ways of working. That is what they want to do. And what you find is that in embarking on projects, they are introducing technologies that enhance how they work. They're introducing processes that enhance how they work. They're introducing improvements that make their operations better. So I hope this slide has been very helpful for you around why organizations embark on projects. If you have questions, drop it in chat. We'll look to move very quickly. One of the things I want to do as part of this process today, as part of this crash course into project management, is try to separate the concept of projects from operations or BAU. They are not the same. BAU, if you know it, the acronym means business as usual. Now, we have already established what a project is. We've established that it is temporary, it doesn't run infinitely, it will have a defined start, it will have a defined finish, it will also deliver one or more unique products or services. Now, for projects, you always have defined objectives around what you're trying to achieve. It could be regulatory compliance based on the reasons we gave, introduction of a new technology, maybe a customer relationship management system. It can be a human resource management system. It could be in construction. You are trying to build a house, a new house, or there's a housing development project in a particular area that this development organization have, introducing different flavors of houses, 2 beds, 3 beds, detached, semi-detached, terraced, etc. It could be all of that. And the objectives will be clear. Now, the thing with projects is that it will have the involvement of different people. These people have different kind of skill sets, and in project management terms, we call them technical practitioners, or we call them subject matter experts. They come with the skill set necessary for delivering that project. Then there will be someone that manages them in the person of a project manager. We'll talk about that a bit more as we go when we start to define project management. But then this is what happens. When you stand up your project environment, that temporary environment, you want to deliver and achieve those objectives that you set out to. You want to deliver those products you have defined for that particular project. The aim then is to hand over whatever you have delivered as part of that project to operations or BAU or your business as usual team. So operations will differ from projects in that is your mundane, repetitive, routine, day in, day out task within an organization. You will be always working to the same ongoing service and delivering the same product so that your marketing team will carry out marketing functions day in, day out. Your customer service team will support customers, address their queries, and provide services to them day in, day out. Your sales team will look to sell products and services to customers and generate revenue for your business day in, day out. But you see, the systems delivered from here in the project side could be handed over to them to enhance out the work, so that we're saying with operations of BAU is same objectives, same marketing, same accounting, day in, day out, same sales, day in, day out, same service desk support and services on a daily basis, day in, day out. So it's also going to be the same team in accounting, same team in marketing, same team in IT, carrying out the same ongoing and repetitive task on a daily basis.